Hello everyone. So today in this video, we will understand some of the important sprite properties. What is a sprite properties? Every object, it could be anything. It could be your car, it could be maybe this watch or any object surrounding you which you see, it could be this mobile phone or any object has got certain properties associated with it, okay? Every object. So if we take an example of a car, the properties of the car would be what is the color of this car, what is the model of this car, what is the manufacturing company of this car, what is the chassis number, engine number, etc, etc. So if we talk about this watch has also got some properties like, what is the size of this watch, what is the make of this watch, what is the model, what is the color, which year manufacturing it is, it belongs to whom, okay? So every object has got some properties defined with it. Similarly, our sprites has also got the properties. And it is very important to understand these properties because when we move on to actual game programming, when we create the games in Game Lab, we must know what are the properties of sprite and how do we use them in our program. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's get started. Log into your code.org and open the project which we created in last video. Okay, so this is a very simple animation project which we had created in the last video. So what are the properties of this sprite or this running boy? First thing that we will talk about is size. How do we resize a sprite? Currently, whatever the size of this sprite, it looks actually very big according to the canvas size. So we may want to resize it. How do we resize it? We can resize it with a property named scale. You can find it here inside the toolbox in a sprite.scale. Okay, or you can type it also. So I can type it like sprite.scale is equals to. So what is the default scale? The default scale is 1. Okay, and if I want to change the size, if I want to double the size, I can say 2. So let's see what happens if I resize it to 2. The size is actually doubled. Okay, and if I want to reduce the size, I will have to take a number which is less than 1. So here I will take 0.5. Let's see what happens if I put it 0.5. Okay, you can see the size has been reduced. Now, probably it is the size which we want our sprite to give. So it looks good. So this is the first thing, how we can resize a sprite. Second thing, how we can change the X and Y position of our sprite. Okay, as you can see here, when we are creating a sprite, we already give 2 parameters, and these parameters are X and Y positions, 60 and 60. But during the course of my project, if we want to change the X or Y position of my sprite, how do we do this? Okay, so for this also, we have got 2 properties. First property is player.x, using which we can reset the X property or the X coordinate of a sprite. So here I can say player.x plus 5. So basically, initially we had given this to be 60. Now, when I reset and run it again, it will be again created at 65x coordinate. A very slight difference, which we may not be able to observe also. So what I will do, I will put it inside. We know when we put any command inside draw function, it keeps on executing till the lifetime of project. Okay, X position of this player X will keep on increasing by 5. Okay, every time this draw function is executed. So when I put it inside, let's see what happens. Let's observe. So you can see the X position of this sprite now keeps on changing. It is giving an impression as, if it is moving ahead as well. Okay, now we will see about the Y position. Similarly, we can change the Y position as well. If instead of player.x, if I simply say player.y, if I change the Y property, let's see what happens. It is going down. Okay, lab, this is coordinate 0, 0, as we have learned in session 1 also, and this is coordinate 400, 400. So basically, when we are increasing the X coordinate, it goes towards right, and when we are increasing the Y coordinates, it goes down. So if I want my sprite to go above, I will have to say player.y is equals to player.y minus 5. Okay. So this is how you can move a sprite with its X and Y coordinate properties. Okay, so we learned how we can resize, we learned what are X and Y properties and how we can change them. Okay, so the next one which I want to tell you is how do we rotate. Okay, so for rotating, we will probably pick another animation, or we will probably pick another sprite. So let me pick this one. Okay, so again our 3 lines of code will go here. It is very important that all of you just always remember these 3 lines of code are very important whenever you want to create any sprite. So create a sprite, my position, probably I can say 200, 200, and giving my sprite a animation or a skin. Okay, so let's run it and see. Oh, it's too big. Let's scale this as well. 0.3. Let me try with 0.3 because this is actually huge. Okay, it looks good. So next, what we will learn is rotation. What is the rotation property of a sprite? This is how you can pick the rotation property, sprite.rotation. So here I will say face.rotation. Face.rotation is equals to, let me put 45 degrees. Okay, so the sprite object will actually be displayed with a 45-degree angle. Okay, we can also say 90 degrees or whatever degrees you want. But this is how you can rotate. So basically this rotation property, if you use inside the draw function, if you use this inside the draw function, you can give it a rotating effect as well. So for example, I can, say something like this, +5. Let's see what happens. Okay, you can see now this sprite is rotating. Every time my draw function is called, this rotation properties is increased by 5, and it is giving it an effect of this sprite is rotating, rotating, and rotating. Okay, so we learn how do we resize, we learn about the X and Y properties. Now we also learn about the rotation. Now very important thing. There could be scenarios when you do not want a particular sprite to be visible. You want that particular sprite to be visible only and only your use case accounts. Say for example, if there is a play button, when the play button is clicked, then only you want to display some of your sprite. Before that, you don't want to display those sprites. So this is the property to set that kind of behavior is visible, sprite.visible. You can again pick it from sprite, or you can mark it as well like this. Okay, so what I will do, initially I do not want this player sprite to be visible. So what I will do, I will say player.visible is equals to false. Okay, so what will happen when my program is starting, my player will not be visible. Let's try it out. Okay, so you can see my player sprite is not visible now. I can put some condition around, maybe when we are clicking on this sprite, or any other key event, etc. That time my sprite could be visible. What is velocity X and velocity Y? Velocity X is the velocity or the speed with which my sprite will actually move in the right direction, forward. Okay, so if I'm saying my velocity is +5, my sprite will move towards the right. And if I say the velocity is -5, it will move in the backward or the left direction. If I say the velocity is +5, it will go down. And if I say the velocity is -5, it will go up. Or, minus plus 5 was just a number. You can give it any number. So let me show this to you. And probably I can also create a simple, another sprite. so that you will be able to understand better what we are talking about the velocity and how we are applying the different velocity to different sprite. So let me quickly pick up another. So I think this we can use this ball. We already have this sprite imported ball. So let's create we can have it at this location. So 330 should be good enough. 330. Ball outside animation. Okay, let's see if it is at the right place. Yes, but scaling is important. Okay, let's reset and run. Okay, it's fine. We can actually reduce the size a little more. Then I will also create another sprite. Copy the name. It will become easy when you are creating a sprite. Is dot set animation. Okay, I think we will have to scale this as well, but let's see first. Yes, we will have to scale this. Okay, we had made a mistake here. It has to be the position where we want it to appear. So probably I will put it here. 40 and 340 looks good to me. 40 and 340 position. And let's scale it also. Okay, let's run and see. Okay, looks good. Now I will put different velocities to these three sprites which we have on my screen right now. Okay, so first is this ball. Okay, so ball, we want it to go down. So when we want it to go down, y coordinate keeps on increasing. So we will say y dot velocity y dot velocity y is equals to, I can say probably say 2. Okay, so every time it will move 2 pixels downwards. Okay, and let's run it and see it first. Okay, so you can see my ball starts falling downwards now. Okay, now let's apply some other velocities. So we can probably say my fish dot velocity x is equals to, this is case sensitive, so we be very careful. You can say 2 or whatever number you want to. Okay, so you can see now my fish start moving towards right direction because I have given it a velocity of +2. If I say -2, it will go towards left. So let's see it. Similarly, if I say -2 velocity for ball, it will go upward. So the ball is going upward and the fish is going towards the left. Okay. What will happen if I give a mix of both the properties to a particular sprite? Let's give it to my face dot velocity x is equals to 2, and also face dot velocity y is equals to 2. Let's see what happens. See, so this is actually going in a diagonal direction. Because why? Because I have given it a velocity where in x direction it will go towards right, and in y direction it will go towards down direction. So a resultant velocity is applied that takes it towards the diagonal position. Now you can do some experiments with plus, minus and different numbers. If you increase the velocity here, say for example from from 2, if I say 3, or maybe say 5, the speed will be increased. Okay, so you can see the speed of the ball is higher than others' speed. So now with this code, you can do some experiments. You can play with the properties, you can play with the velocities and get a hang of it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Whatever code has been given here, do some experiments, play with it, try it out. How does it work? Get a feel of it. Because using these all properties and all, in next video, we are going to create amazing games. So stay tuned and see you soon. Bye-bye.